We're back here on the Duncan Duo Show on 970 WFLA. We were talking before the break about force-placed insurance. Richard kind of gave us the nuts and bolts, definition of what it is. But I want to elaborate a little bit more because there are people out there that, are in a position where they, their escrow gets messed up or they forget to make a payment. And the force-placed insurance is the bank's just going to kick it in. Right. What are some things for people to pay attention to prevent themselves, obviously, from going into that situation?
Well, I mean, obviously, the obvious answer is pay attention to your insurance and pay those bills when they come in, or have a good working relationship with your agent. That's the obvious answer. It's not always that easy because I've seen situations where people have a house that, the roof is now 22, 23, 24 years old. Roofs are not as cheap as they used to be, and they can't afford $10,000 or whatever the roof costs on their house to go out and replace it. So, their insurance goes away. Situations like that, then they, the easy route is to just let the bank take over, and your payment might go up some because you're paying a little bit more in insurance. But here's what you need to know. What you need to know is that that force-placed insurance, the only thing that it covers on your house is your loan. So if somebody breaks in and robs you, there's no coverage. If the house catches fire and burns down to the ground, they're going to pay off your loan, but you have no equity. So that's the real danger area of the force-placed insurance, that the only thing that you're covering is the bank. You're paying for the bank to be covered, but you're not paying for yourself or any of your belongings or any liability. Sure. or anything like that.
And the coverage is usually more expensive. I'll tell you, one of the things
that more expensive.
I tell people, and it's something that happens to us, you obviously the insurance on a lot of our properties, if you move and maybe the mail doesn't quite make it to you because you moved and there's a change of address, something
right.
doesn't get through, that can sometimes cause a notice that that they didn't receive the insurance policy or the endorsement information. I think another one that happens kind of regularly that a lot of people forget about is if your loan is sold. Right. Sometimes there's a someone lines cross and your loan is sold and they don't get they mail the certificate of insurance somewhere else. And
right.
That sometimes happens, and then same things changing insurance companies can sometimes cause you to miss that, and then you're getting letters saying, oh, we're going to force place insurance because you don't have it, even though you do, they just don't have the information.
Right, or being that we're here, not far from MacDill Air Force Base, if you get relocated somewhere and you decide to keep your house and rent it out, you need to make sure to alert the insurance company. Sure. and alert your agent, so that way they can make whatever adjustments they need to make.
And I think a lot of people have the misconception that their insurance is going to go up, and that's not always the case when you go to a rental property. Obviously, we have a lot of soldiers that get PCS'd out of here, and a lot
right.
of them choose to rent the home.
Sure.
And some of them, they get deployed quickly, and they don't have a chance to notify the insurance company, but I think it's important to notify them because you're actually going to save money more than you think.
A lot of times you will, because we no longer have to insure all of your belongings that are inside the house. We're not like a resort area where like in Disney World, where you rent houses out fully furnished with all the bells and whistles. The houses rented out here are basically bare bones, and
sure.
and you don't have any belongings and contents inside the house.
When Andrew, most of us know RESPA as an origination law. The Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act governs how we create loans and closings and all that stuff. But RESPA is also a servicing law, and it governs how the banks and the servicers collect and pay insurance and taxes and escrows and all that stuff. So if there is someone out there who has received force-placed insurance, or lender-placed insurance is what
yeah.
they'll call it a lot.
Yeah, that's the nice way of calling you getting bent over.
Exactly. but if you find some of that stuff out there, and it's something that has been based on a servicer change, or there may be an error in it, there's a law out there to protect consumers from those types of issues. Now, if it's someone who simply hasn't paid, there may not
right.
be anything we can do.
But if there's a paperwork error, they could have messed something up, and you could go back and get some sort of correction.
And that creates liability to the bank.
Yeah, we get calls, regularly on a weekly basis from lenders who say, hey, can you send us proof of insurance on Mr. Jones's property? And we're like, well, we show ABC Mortgage, not you guys.
Right.
And they've been servicing it for the last 6-8 months, and that's where a lot of problems come about.
We're going to be back after the break. We're going to talk about 5 sneaky things you didn't know could ruin your credit with Arnie and David Diaz from Waterstone Mortgage. I think it's really important out there, obviously, to know what's going on with your credit. It's an important score. It helps you, qualify for a mortgage, buy a car, whatever credit you want. We're going to talk about that after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show.